Morning. I'm just going to do a quick video this morning of like what I've been up to over the past few days. Basically, I went out, took a couple of photographs. One, I got a great photograph of a kestrel with a mockingbird that was nesting nearby. It kept having a pop at this American kestrel, and I just love that shot. Yeah, that was another time that I was like on the roof. But one of the main things I wanted to do was to have a go at sort of some panning photography. I've been watching a lot of videos on it. I tried a little bit like the other day, but I've got like 4 photographs that I managed to take. They're not perfect, but it is so much fun. The keeper rate is really low. The settings that I was using was basically I had the 55 to 250 Canon STM lens on, and I had it like zoomed all the way out, so I was up at 55mm. Ideally, I mean, I'm thinking I may be get hold of eventually just a prime lens, just a little 50mm, which would have pulled me back a little bit further. But for cars, I'd need something with a slightly wider angle, so we're talking like more expensive lens. I mean, I've got the 18 to 55 kit lens, which doesn't do too bad, but I want something that's crisp and sharp, but it's going to be expensive. So I also want something that's going to allow me to do shots of kite surfing and then some wildlife. So I'm sort of pretty stuck on what to try and save up for, and it can't be that expensive either. By the way, the Sigma from last week's video died. So moral of the story is, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. You know, I only got it for $45, but it didn't even last a week. The autofocus stopped working, it was rattling. So basically it just died a death. So now it's just a paperweight. Right, anyway, up to the photographs. We've got, first one I managed to get hold of was this guy on a Yamaha street bike, and the settings that I'm using are sort of like a 1/60th of a second. I tried to go lower, but I didn't have that much success. I've got it set on like 55mm, so I can get the whole bike in. I think the ISO is 200. It's either 200 or 400, depending on the lighting at the moment, because every time this happens, yeah, the sun's fairly low, it's going down. So I've got the ISO, sometimes I need to bump it a little bit. But I'm using, the aperture I'm using is like 5.6. I mean, I could up the aperture a bit as well. But then, if I make the aperture smaller, then ISO's got to go up, or shutter speed's got to come further down. I tried 1/25th of a second, and the keeper rate was even less. So at the moment I'm comfortable with 1/60th. But there's this Yamaha street bike, guy in his leathers, nice little star on his headlight. Now I was pretty pleased with this shot, but that was a week ago. But this is every Sunday afternoon you get a bunch of guys come past around about 5:30. So it's a good time just to wander out onto the road and sit there and try and get some panning shots. So there was this guy on his Yamaha street bike. Right, yesterday I went out, and I managed to get this guy on his Harley with his missus on the back. This is where I would have liked a wider angle. I managed to get him pretty much perpendicular and fairly clean, but he filled the frame too much. I'd rather have had a much wider shot where he was sort of like same sort of position, but I'd like more room around him, especially to like the left of the screen at the moment, which is to his front. Yeah, I'd like him to be sort of opening more into the front. The next shot basically was my next try. Guy coming up on, you know, nice big Harley here. He's on cruising. He would have filled the frame completely again. I couldn't get any further back and be able to get a photograph because of what was around me. So he's at a slight angle. He's not like straight on, but it works. You know, the bike's nice and clean and the background's blurred. Yeah, so we got a sense of speed, and the wheels. Yeah, there's The actual wheels also blurred. So you're getting a sense of speed, which is what panning is all about. So again, the same settings, you know, it's 1/60th of a second. So I was fairly pleased with that. And I tried to get some sports bikes, but they just went back way too fast, and I was too close to the road to be able to get a really good swing on my body. And the thing with me is I don't like to be standing while I'm taking the shot. I prefer to sort of like crouch down and get lower, so to make the bike more imposing. I don't know whether I should start standing up and taking these shots from eye level, because it's the actual panning from swinging from the waist, if you crouch down or knelt down, isn't as smooth as if you're standing. So obviously there's either I need a lot more practice at it, or I've got to find a way of getting low but still be able to pan. I don't know, I mean, the bikes are on my doorstep every Sunday, so there's no problem practicing. But if anybody's like into sports photography and likes doing this sort of photography and has any sort of tips or advice, yeah, just put them in the comments, because I'm really enjoying this. The next photo, there was a couple parked in the gas station that was just behind me, and I just walked up and asked them if they could do sort of a drive-by so they can get a shot of them. I was still trying to get a really clean profile side-on shot with the composition just right, and I managed. They only did one pass. They came out of the gas station because I'd crossed the road. Yeah, they come out of the gas station and then come zipping down the road. But they gave me enough time. Yeah, I knew they were coming. I focused on them, tracked them all the way in again. But they only did one pass. They just carried on down the Cabaret. But they were gracious enough to like go out of the other entrance, which gives them more of a run to come past me. And I managed to capture this shot here. And to me, that really come out well. Yeah, the guy's in focus. His wife's looking happy. You know, the background's blurred. You know, nice wire wheels that are sort of all blurred as well. Yeah, I'm really happy with this shot. And there's something about this shot as well. I can't put my finger on what it is, but there's something about this shot that just looks natural. You know, I love it. I mean, out of all the ones I've tried so far, this is probably my favourite, just because of the way it looks. It's hard to explain, but this is the one that sort of like leaps at me, not technically but sort of emotionally. Is like, you know, there's something about it, I just can't explain it, sorry. Anyway, that's basically what I've been doing. I've been trying a bit of like kiteboard photography, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to go out and try and get some more. I've done some like a little bit of wildlife, but until I venture out a lot further, yeah, there's not going to be much different, and I want to try and sort of like expand my horizons in the photography world. I'm really enjoying anything that's moving around, so obviously I'm drawn to the action side of stuff. I tried to like do a little bit of landscape stuff, didn't work at all. I haven't got the eye for it for some reason. Plus I was just kept itching to move. I couldn't sort of stand in one place and sit there and look at composition and things like that. So I don't think at the moment that's going to be something I'm going to be like having a serious go at. More to do with action. Even when it comes to wildlife, my preferred shots are like birds in flight rather than static birds. I mean, I've got some beautiful shots of like birds perched, but I prefer trying to capture them in flight. I prefer to capture sort of like kiteboarding, motorbikes and cars and roads, you know, moving around. So it seems that I'm attracted to movement rather than the more static shots. I'm sure that as I get further and further along with my photography, my taste will change a bit more. But this with the Harleys and that, and the sports bikes, this sort of photography, wow, it's just phenomenal. You know what you can come up with. Or let's just say I'm enjoying it. Yeah, there might not be great shots, but I really am enjoying it. Yeah, but any advice on a sort of lens that isn't going to like break my pension, and techniques, you know, for doing this sort of thing, would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, that's enough for this short little video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.